Hello, kindergartners. Happy Monday. Today I've asked that you listen to me read the best book, The Very Hungry Caterpillar. I have actually posted this as a read aloud before this lesson. We are going to be using this book today. So if you have not yet watched or heard this book before, you might want to pause me and go listen to the story of The Very Hungry Caterpillar first. Now, my favorite part of this book is, of course, the end when the caterpillar turns into the beautiful butterfly, which is why I have this beautiful butterfly up here to remind us of one of the really great parts of this book. Now, if you remember, the caterpillar spends a lot of time eating, and once it was a little caterpillar, and then it turned into a big caterpillar because of how many things the caterpillar ate. Now, today we're going to look closely at some of the things that the caterpillar ate in the book. But before we do that, I want to tell you what you will need for this lesson today. You're going to need a whiteboard and a marker, or a piece of paper and a pencil. Pause me, and why don't you slither like a caterpillar across your house to find those things and come right back and press play. Welcome back, friends. Okay, now give me your butterfly wings. Flutter like a butterfly to show me your back. Oh, it's good to see you again, friends. So, you have already learned a lot about addition and subtraction. You've learned how to add two things together and show that in so many ways. So, as of now, friends, we're going to really master those skills. That means really focus on them and make them as best as we can. And today, I'm even going to crank it up a notch and make things a little harder for us. But we are still going to be working on addition and subtraction in this next unit, this final unit. So if we're looking back at the hungry caterpillar didn't just eat two things. He didn't just eat apples and pears. And the hungry caterpillar didn't just eat strawberries and oranges. The hungry caterpillar ate a lot of things. But so far, kindergartners, we have only learned how to add two items or two things together. So today, I would like to teach you how to add more than two things together and show that on a 10-frame mat. Again, this is just to crank it up a notch and get our brains thinking a little further in addition in this unit. So if we think to the very first part of the Hungry Caterpillar book, the Hungry Caterpillar started with eating what? Oh, you remember. Great memory. The Hungry Caterpillar started eating one apple. You are right. One apple. And so I'm going to put up on my board one apple. On your whiteboard, could you do exactly how my board is? Draw three squares, and inside the squares, draw one apple. So you're drawing three squares on your whiteboard or piece of paper, and inside the first square, can you draw one apple? Now, under that square, I also want to write one apple. I'm going to write an A for apple. You could write the whole word apple if you really want to challenge yourself. One apple. Now, I want to figure out the first three things the caterpillar ate in this book and how many of those items all put together did the caterpillar eat. So how many of the three first fruits did the caterpillar eat in all? So we know that the caterpillar ate one apple, but I want to add three things together. I want to think, what did the caterpillar eat next? Oh, you're right. Two pears. You guys really know this book well. The caterpillar next ate two pears. In your second square, can you draw for me two pears? And I'm going to put my pictures up. Two pears. And now what would I label under this? You got it. Two and then a P. And I'm going to put a plus sign in the middle because, again, today my goal is to figure out how many of the three different fruits in the beginning did the caterpillar eat in all. So first we know 1 apple, 2 pears, and then what did the caterpillar eat next? You got it again. 3 plums. In this last box, if you can draw 3 plums. 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to write 3, and I'm going to actually put PL for plums because they're both start with a P. So I see that in the beginning of this story, the caterpillar ate 1 apple, then 2 pears, and then 3 plums. And I want to know, with all of these fruits put together, how many fruits did the caterpillar eat in the beginning of the story in all? Now, kindergartners, we're used to only adding these 2 sets together or these 2 sets together. We're not used to adding 3 different sets of things together. But today, again, we are cranking that up a notch and we are going to add all 3 sets of fruits together. Now, how we can do this is we can use the pictures that we've just drawn. You have just drawn an apple, 2 pears, and 3 plums on your whiteboard. Those pictures are not just pictures to match the story, but those pictures are to help you be the best mathematician and to solve this problem of how many fruits did the caterpillar eat in the beginning of the story. So I'm going to use this picture to add and to count on. My first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I normally do and add the 2 pictures together and not worry about the third. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to cover this up for a second. And I want to count with these 2 pictures. And if I count with these 2 pictures, I see 1, and then I want to add these 2 too. 2, 3. I have 3 pieces of fruit so far. 1 apple and 2 pears equals 3. But I also have this set. So I'm going to go 3, and I want to keep counting on. 4, 5, 6. 1 apple plus 2 pears plus 3 plums equals 6. 6 plums? Should I write plums? That doesn't look right. 6 apples? Are there 6 apples? Oh, 6 pears. 6 pears makes sense. Not that either. How do I label the 6? If there's not 6 plums or 6 pears or 6 apples, oh, you're right. We have to label it with something that they all are. What are they? They are all fruits. 6 pieces of fruit. In the beginning of the story, the hungry caterpillar ate 6 pieces of fruit in all. We did that work by drawing pictures and then counting how many pictures we had drew in all. If I were to show this work on a 10 frame as well, and friends, you can just watch me for this, I would first make a 1 on my 10 frame to show the 1 apple. I put 1 yellow counter on there. The next step I would do is I would actually put 2 red to match the 2 pears. 1 apple and 2 pears. And then I would actually go back to using yellow counters to show the 3 plums, just to show that change of fruit again. So I'd go 1, 2, 3. And then just like always, we can look at our 10 frame and we can see that in all, the top row is filled in, which we know for a fact is 5, and 1 more equals 6. The hungry caterpillar started by eating 6 fruits in all if we looked at just the beginning of the story. We could do this work again by looking at the end of the story as well. You can add sets of 3 with anything you do. You just have to make sure when you are writing your number sentences that you do not label the total with 6 apples or 6 plums or 6 oranges, because those 3 sets are all different, but they all are fruit. This was just a little glimpse into adding 3 things together. We're going to do a little bit more of work with this tomorrow as we crank up our addition skills. Now it's time to listen for what your homework is for today, your schoolwork is for today. You are actually going to get out your brand new math packet that says Math 2 on it. So you have a brand new one that should say Math 2 next to it and have this sheet as the first paper inside. This is actually the first paper we're going to be working on today. So I'm going to take this out and I'm going to show you what it's asking for, as we have never done something like this. Now, we are cranking up our skills by adding 3 things together with Miss Graves, but I don't expect you to do that on your own. So when you're doing your schoolwork on your own, you are still going to be focusing on adding 2 things together or looking at 2 different sets. So if I were to look at this and the directions, it says, write an equation to match the pictures. So in each picture, you can clearly see that there are 2 different sets. There are gray hearts and there are white hearts. There are black circles and gray circles. Now this one, they are all gray. So you might be adding 0 here, I would think. And these 2 sets are shown in a number bond. What it is asking you to do is write a number sentence on the line to match what the picture is showing. So I am actually going to help you out with the first problem, since this is new learning. I see that there are 2 white hearts and 2 gray hearts, right? There are 2 different sets, 2 are white and 2 are gray. If I were writing a number sentence to match this, I would say 2 plus, what's the other set? How many is in the other set? If there were 2 white, there's also 2 gray. 2 plus 2 equals, and then to solve that work, I can simply count 2, 3, 4. 4 in all. Here you're also going to look at your 2 groups. You have a group of 3 and you have another group of 3. You're going to write a number sentence to match your 2 separate groups. You're going to do that again here on the star paper, on the star box. Just know that you only have 1 set of a group. When you only have 1 set of a group, you add it to 0. There's no other group added, so it'd be plus 0. And then lastly, you would add these 2 groups together to find the whole. So you would say 1 plus, you got it, 4. So your number sentences to match the picture belong on the line. This is due to your teacher today to show off all that you can do with equations with adding 2 things together. Thanks for listening today, friends, and I will see you again tomorrow.